Space Ant Boy Productions.
Featuring the Fear Meter.
Welcome to the Fear Meter. My name is Space Ant Boy, and in this series we analyze some of the scariest moments and some of the scariest video games of all time. Today we are diving into the nightmare that is Resident Evil 2, the remake. This game redefined horror classics for the new generation, and many believe that this is actually the best in the entire franchise. And in my personal opinion, it's not too far off. But the question is it truly terrifying? Did this remake actually make the game more scary, or is it just not as scary? For many of us, our first time going through Raccoon City was in the 1998 original version. A legendary game in its own right, with its unforgettable moments and some of the most game-changing and honestly groundbreaking mechanics in video game history. This game is legendary in its own right, but with the remake, it's not just a graphical change or a graphical overhaul. This is a complete reimagining of Fear itself. These guys took the game from scratch and completely changed everything. This game took concepts from the original and completely perfected them to a T. From the weapons, to Uncle Mr. X, and to the beautiful environment of the R.P.D. But before we even step inside the Raccoon City Police Department, we need to talk about the city itself. To me, this is one of the most iconic cities in all of horror games because Raccoon City isn't just a setting or a place, it's honestly a character in its own right. I mean, this shit comes back multiple times in the franchise, and with Resident Evil 9, they decided to bring it back again, which just shows you how iconic this city truly is. And yes, this city is very iconic, but it's also the things that are inside of the city, such as the zombies, the zombie dogs, big-ass nemesis, the R.P.D. itself. This city has some of the most iconic things we get to see in it, and without Raccoon City, Resident Evil wouldn't be where it is today. And what truly makes this city actually work is the realism of Raccoon City, in my opinion. Genuinely does feel like a big-ass city going to hell, especially in Resident Evil 2 the remake. Just a small walk to the actual R.P.D, you kind of get a gist of everything going to hell. It genuinely feels terrifying and real, very real. The truth is, there's a reason why Resident Evil keeps going back to Raccoon City. Resident Evil 9 is proof of this. And honestly, with the upcoming DLC, I'm sure we're gonna even see more of it. Let me hear some prediction in the comments below what you think Resident Evil 9 is gonna cook up for the DLC, because I have some thoughts of my own, and I would love to hear your guys' opinions. While the environment and the graphics of this game is obviously a giant step up from the original, I mean, just look at these two games side by side, they look absolutely nothing alike, and you could tell with just the technology how much Resident Evil has developed since the original. We do have to talk about the smaller details, like the fact that the developers put a huge amount of time into the damage system itself. You know those wounds that you inflict onto the zombies? They're no longer just some whack-ass animation. Depending on where you shoot the enemies in this game and with what weapons, you'll actually see chunks of flesh fly off and sometimes even dismemberment. It makes every shot actually feel impactful, effective, and every zombie encounter uniquely gory in its own specific kind of way. And speaking of zombie encounters, we have to address the elephant in the room. Let's talk about Mr. F***ing X, or I'm gonna be calling him Uncle X in this game because I'm not gonna lie, this guy just violated me in my playthroughs and he's now my uncle. I don't want to talk about it, but this mother effer. In the original, Mr. X was largely scripted for the most part. He would appear in specific areas, chase you for a bit, and then disappear after certain triggers, or disappear entirely depending on which room you enter. He wasn't programmed to follow you into specific rooms, he was more just a threat in isolated segments, more like scenarios that would happen depending on what you're doing in the story. Long story short, every time Mr. X popped up, you knew it, especially on a second playthrough. But in the remake, this is the opposite. Mr. X is probably one of the best, I would say, stalker enemies in Resident Evil history. I think he takes the cake over Nemesis in my personal opinion. In the remake, Mr. X isn't just a threat. He don't give a fuck, I'm not gonna lie. This man is your new uninvited best friend. He will literally chase you down and haunt you through large portions of the R.P.D. This man will pop up in the worst times in your playthroughs. Mr. X can pretty much follow you through most rooms, excluding save rooms, which is nice because even unkillable tyrants respect your bathroom breaks. That being said, he does love to break through walls and just say hi every now and then. He has the heaviest footsteps of all time. You can kind of hear this guy from a mile away, which genuinely helps prepare if need be. Also in this game, Mr. X is a trained boxer. This dude has hands. Also, some of the lines that Claire and Leon say kind of adds a lot of realism because, dude, you literally get to hear Leon like try to hype himself up, or even when he's scared, you know? This dude is just a rookie cop on his first fucking day. And you can see that through his dialogue. Like, seriously, just listen to some of these lines.
This is insane. Just great. Back up. Back up. What the fucking hell? Get off of me! Get off of me, you piece of shit! Oh, I don't believe it.
Now I gotta mention some of the gameplay changes, and honestly there are too many to mention. This isn't like Resident Evil 1 to Resident Evil 1 Remake. These two games are 21 years apart, so obviously there's gonna be some giant changes in terms of gameplay. But I'd say the biggest gameplay shift is obviously the camera angles. And listen, I don't want to get too deep into this because there's always going to be the camera debate where there's people who like fixed camera angles over the shoulder camera angles. To me, it's a very subjective thing, and everybody's gonna have their preferences. I'm gonna avoid saying my personal preference for these two camera angles because I really don't want to start World War III in the comments, and it's really not that big of a deal in my opinion. They're both fun in their own ways. In the 1998 original, you were basically playing through a composed horror film. Every room had a preset shot, and sometimes it would be in high corners or dramatic low angles. But this just creates a sense of dread because they can use their angles to let you not see what's around the corner, and is sometimes even more terrifying than over-the-shoulder camera perspectives. It also came with the classic tank controls. To be honest, not everyone thinks that tank controls are great, and me personally, I'm a scrub at this shit. I never play with tank controls if I have the option to turn them off, and maybe I'm just ass, I don't know, but I prefer not tank controls because that shit is difficult. So now with the camera being glued behind Leon or Claire's shoulder, you're right in their personal space. By extension, you're right in the thick of it, and you can kind of see the R.P.D's crumbling areas a little bit better. You literally see less of your surroundings at any given time. That wide cinematic view of the original is replaced with a much more tunnel vision perspective, making narrow hallways feel scary as fuck. Also are gone the days of auto aiming, unless you have like aim assist on or something, which is still very completely different. But with the over-the-shoulder camera, it allows you to have precise tactical aiming, and this isn't just a gameplay enhancement. This is, to me, a horror amplifier. And you're saying why? Well, because with precise aim, you kind of feel like missing is more your fault, which is terrifying sometimes, especially when you're out of ammo and you miss. It's like, fuck dude, this zombie's gonna bite my shit. This has to be mentioned as well. The unseen threat is still unseen, just in a different way. While you have more freedom with your camera, the remake clearly manipulates your line of sight. They do this with lighting. Rooms are often pitch black, illuminated only by a tiny flashlight that you have on you, or just a maybe flickering light depending on which room you're in. Enemies like the Lickers often position themselves above you or sometimes behind you when they catch you off guard, and in a way that's kind of out of your sight. So I'm still giving these points to the remake for being able to just be so creative and still having things unseen. Alright, so we've talked about Raccoon City, we've pondered on the brilliance of the remake, we even talked about my uncle, Mr. X, but now it's time to put all of this to a theory. The ultimate test. No more holding back. We're about to venture deep into R.P.D's darkest corners and answer the brave question, how scary is this game? Also, before we get into this thing, I want to mention that we're going to be doing this from Leon's perspective because, well, he's the more popular choice. And since fear is totally subjective, here's my criteria. But to sum it up in a few words, anything that I feel like the developers are trying to scare the players with, I'll be considering a scare. So it's time. Go grab a snack, go grab a beverage, come back, and try not to scream too loud because the fear meter is on. We start off our journey with a hungry ass trucker eating a big ass burger. I mean, look at that thing, dude. That thing's huge.
The world is
Last Friday night, I was walking home from the bar, and this woman started coming towards me. She was staggering, you know?
After hearing a disturbing interview on the radio, the trucker insults his wife.
Like a walking corpse, man.
Sounds like my wife.
I've never seen anything like it. I haven't been able to sleep.
And eventually the radio starts to lose connection and the trucker stops paying attention to the road because I guess he was really interested in that damn interview. But dude, like seriously, you might want to focus on the road because you might end up hitting someone. Oh, okay. Well, dude, I told you, you weren't paying attention to the road. What do you think is gonna happen? After the trucker hits this individual, he does decide to check on them because honestly, that's the right thing to do. But unfortunately for the trucker, that ain't no victim. That's a fucking zombie, bro.
What do I do? What am I gonna do?
So this is clearly our first scary moment. I like how subtle it is, and we all had that feeling that this trucker was gonna die, and there's honestly no other reason to have this man in this game other than just to build up the zombies. I do like how real this scene feels, you know, just a dude eating a burger on the road, and he feels like a real human to me. You know, he gets out to check on the victim. I like a lot of this shit that goes on in here, and to me this is a solid first opening scene. This is just a good way to get us ready for, you know, to see what Leon's gonna have to deal with in a couple of seconds here. Therefore, I'm giving this scene a solid 80% on the fear meter. Speaking of Leon, we get our first look at the rookie cop, and he truly looks amazing with this new graphical overhaul. As Leon pulls up into the gas station, Leon states the obvious.
No one's around? That's weird.
After filling his gas tank, Leon hears a glass break from inside the gas station. He decides to go look around the gas station, and what seems to be a nearly abandoned store is found to have something or someone in it due to these scary ass grunts we hear.
You alright?
This soon becomes a reality when we find a sheriff dealing with a situation. Maybe Leon, you should give that guy a hand, maybe? No? Okay.
Stop moving.
Officer, you need help?
Stay back, sir. I got this.
Well, to be fair, Leon did offer, and also I am considering this to be the second scary moment on our fear meter because this shit is obviously terrifying. I'm taking this entire gas station scenario and considering it to be one scare because I don't want to have to separate every single thing. This is a great way of getting tossed into the chaos. I love the sounds that we hear beforehand foreshadowing that something is terrifying happening. The actual scene of itself of seeing the sheriff get killed is even more terrifying, and obviously the look that zombie gives you afterwards is kind of reminiscent of Resident Evil 1's famous zombie head turn. Very scary, and I love this whole scene. This whole scene is even made more terrifying as you're leaving the gas stations. A whole bunch of zombies start appearing. Like there were none to be seen before, but all of a sudden these motherfuckers start popping up. This feels tight, claustrophobic, and there's not much room to avoid these zombies. So I'm giving this entire scene a strong 87% on my fear meter, and I just love this whole scenario. This is one of the best openings of Resident Evil for me. Even though running away seems difficult, we are eventually able to reach the exit. But before Leon is able to open that door, a fan favorite reaches it before it. I'm talking about Claire's sexy ass.
Don't shoot! Get down!
Hold up. Really? Claire's sexy ass? You couldn't have come up with something better? Are you seriously gonna describe her like that? Listen, man, I'm just saying what we're all thinking. You don't have to be a smartass about it. Alright, bro, I'll give you that. All jokes aside, I really do like Claire's new look. Obviously, this is completely different than what we're used to. This doesn't look like the Code Veronica Claire or any of the past Claires. But I really do like this new look. It looks like a younger, fresher version of Claire, and I'm okay with it. Leon and Claire are eventually able to get past all of this and start heading towards the police station. Claire seems to be more pessimistic about the situation, and Leon tries to, you know, give her some hope.
Police station's not much farther. They'll know something.
Yeah, but What if we're the only ones? What if there's no
No,
survivors?
there's survivors. It's a big city. There has to be.
When the two reach a dead end, they decide that they just might be better off walking. But before they're even able to get out of the car, this shit happens.
Looks like we're walking from here.
More like running.
Yeah, good call.
Leon, we gotta back up!
Fuck this zombie, but listen, that was a good jump scare, we have to be honest. A quick and easy jump scare. I'm not gonna sit here and say it was anything super special, but I find them being surrounded by a bunch of zombies makes this situation a little bit more terrifying in its own right. But to make matters worse, it's that hungry ass truck driver again, dude. I thought you were done driving trucks, bro. You're a zombie and you're driving a truck? Or I guess you're turning. Well, he starts heading straight towards Leon and Claire, and I'm giving this entire situation an easy 81% on the fear meter, because that jump scare kind of earned most of the points, and the situation itself is pretty damn scary. This situation literally gets worse and worse by the second, and I know that jump scare got a lot of you guys on your first playthroughs. If it did, let me know in the comments. I want to hear the story. Also, I do like the fact that they brought back the trucker just for a second. I mean, this was just to bring him back to have a more dreadful death, which is kind of fucked up. Poor guy just wanted to eat a burger and listen to the radio. This is also the reason why Leon and Claire are forced to split up. Their plan is to meet up back at the police station, and I've got to say, this short walk that we get to do to the R.P.D. is honestly amazing. Leon eventually pushes through these big ass doors, and man, the silence is deafening. You can see the light literally filtering through the dust of the empty lobby. It's genuinely beautiful and scary in its own way. We do find our first interactive scare when we head towards the West Wing to help an officer named Elliot. Unfortunately for Elliot, he is the next scary moment. As we attempt to save this man, you see a half-closed shutter and you see Elliot literally getting ripped in half as he tries to crawl under this thing. The sounds of flesh tearing and Leon genuinely being panicked kind of makes it feel like too real. It's terrifying and I hate it in a good way.
Give me your other hand.
Jesus Christ.
I'm giving this an 88% on the fear meter due to the gore, and it's just an all-around scary moment. I hate the idea of being confined in an area where something could like chop you off. I don't know, I don't like this, but it's scary to me and I'm giving it a high score. Later on, Leon is also eventually caught in the same predicament, dude. Like, I get you had to crawl under here, but I don't think I would. I'm like fighting the zombies instead of crawling under here. But luckily for Leon, we are saved by one of the most underutilized Resident Evil characters. This man could got a prequel game. I don't know. This guy is, everyone loves this guy. Marvin.
Watch out!
You're safe. For now.
Thanks.
Marvin Browner.
Marvin does give us our next task, a way out of the station. That is our next goal. Marvin also gives Leon some direct orders and some useful words of advice.
This is good news. We can get you to a hospital.
No, I am not the priority here.
Lieutenant, I'm not just gonna leave you here.
I'm giving you an order, rookie. You save yourself first. I'd come with you, but I'd just slow you down.
We move forward and we find this nasty ass grotesque corpse. I think now is the best time to mention how amazing the devs did with the gore system of this game. The developers even gave this gore system a specific name, the wet gore system. The two main creative forces behind the whole wet gore system, forgive me if I mess up these names, I'm probably gonna mess them up, is Kazunori Kodoi and then Toshoshi Kanda. They used the RE engine to assure that the damage wasn't as canned or like very specific, but more responsive. An experience where gunshot wounds actually dismembered things. I kind of mentioned it earlier, but I do just want to mention these two dudes because they did an amazing job with this wet gore system, and we seen it with Elliot earlier. After exploring a lot of the mansion, Marvin eventually calls Leon back to let him know that our friend Claire was able to make it to the station safe, and sound. And it's good because she's sexy as fuck. Okay, bro, you really gotta stop with that shit, man. I'm not gonna lie. You're doing too much. All right. I'm sorry. I'm just an honest guy. Okay, we'll move forward. No more of that, okay? We do a shit ton of puzzles, and then we find a shit ton of keys. And then, just when things seem normal, a big-ass helicopter crashes into the R.P.D. But it's not too bad because we do get some one-on-one time with Claire. Leon does just say what we're all thinking.
Claire. It's so nice to see you.
Claire's bombarded with a bunch of zombies. They're forced to go separate ways.
What terrible actions will be done in its name, and who will pay its dark cost?
Okay, not you, Ada. Get the fuck off the screen, man. Your part is coming, man. Just come on. We'll get to you eventually. We do make our way back to the main hall. We see Marvin slowly dying, and it's genuinely heartbreaking to see this man just slowly deteriorate. But you know it's not heartbreaking and just metal as fuck? Liquor's on the ceiling killing people. Yeah, that shit is sick, dude. This shit is terrifying. It's out of nowhere and unexpected, which happens a lot in this game. The lickers with their nasty long tongues, exposed brains, no eyes, and the first licker encounter is just genuinely psychological warfare because the game teaches you if you run, you die. So you have to walk past these guys, and it's kind of like the opposite of what you've been doing. This is just peak horror, and I'm giving this an 89% on our fear meter, and this is our 5th scare. And I just love that this forces you to be silent, literally completely shifting the entire gameplay. Lickers literally just make us want to run even though we can't, and that's what we do in this game. We run, and I'm okay with that. I run away from everything. But you know who doesn't? Marvin. Marvin has officially lost all hope. As he slowly turns into a zombie, he decides to stay instead of going with Leon to the underground passage.
We need to get you to a hospital right now.
No, save yourself.
Come on, I've got you.
Go!
Look, we can still make it out of here together. Just can...
It's too late. I tried, Leon, but I couldn't stop it. We can't let this thing spread. It's on you now. Just go.
All right, Marvin, please get off my screen. You're making me depressed, and let's just move past this because I might cry, and I don't want to cry. We move down the path and hear some loud-ass stomps in what looks to be like a boiler room. We find a shelf blocking the path. We just gotta move this shit out of the way here. Come on. What the fuck is that? Oh my gosh, bro. Come on, dude. Is it Papa William? In my opinion, this is one of the ugliest mutations we get in Resident Evil. I mean, this dude is ugly as hell. He is as ugly as Sadler. In fact, I actually might give the cake to William depending on the day. There is a lot of things I genuinely enjoy about this first encounter with William, and the more that I think about it, the more I like it. The setting of the cramped boiler room with its narrow, tight walls making you feel like this fight is more terrifying. Also, having William half human, but like kind of half mutated, very feels like you can see the transformation of what it means to become, you know, a monster. William does have some of the best sound designs because you can literally hear this man in pain as he fights you. I gotta give the first William encounter a huge 91% on the fear meter, actually being the first 90 on our list so far. To me, this is just a perfect boss fight, and it's very simple but terrifying. After defeating William, he decides to go bungee jumping. And that William, he's always in a rush. Shortly after this, we do make it to the exit point. But damn, we need a key card because it's a Resident Evil game, and Leon doesn't have this shit. Or this fucking dog that ambushes us. Thankfully, we are actually saved by everybody's favorite double agent, Ada Wong. Listen, I did mention that she was gonna have her time. She's here. I wasn't lying about that. But if it wasn't for Ada, this dog probably would have killed Leon, and I'm giving this quick little scene a 73% on the fear meter because, I mean, it's not the highest score, but it was a nice little quick scare. I'm not one for seeing animals get infected. I never find any type of like mutated animal scary. I never do, you know? I know they're iconic, but just for me, not that scary. So 73% seems like a respectful scare because of the animal design itself is scary, but I just don't like the idea of them. After Ada acts like Rey Mysterio, we find ourselves in the prison of the R.P.D.
Sorry. Thank you. For your help.
Surprised you made it this far.
FBI, huh? What's going on here?
Sorry, that information's classified. Do yourself a favor. Stop asking questions and get the hell out of here.
And this is a great setting, mainly because the zombies are in cells and they're kind of reaching for you, which is kind of creepy. But these cells aren't just filled with zombies. There's actually a human here. Look at this guy, another human encounter. I'm just so happy to see people. This human is an investigator named Ben. Ben got locked up by Chief Irons because Ben was gonna expose Chief Irons for being a slimy ass bastard. No one likes Chief Irons, and if you do, bye. Unfortunately for Ben, Leon's a good boy. He's not gonna release this guy under no circumstances. Ben gets fucking pissed and he meets his demise shortly after yelling in rage.
Look, we're both prisoners in this station. So either we play nice and help each other out, or... Shit. It's coming. What? What's coming? Come on. Come on, don't be an asshole. Okay, you need this. Just get me the fuck out of here!
Now, this is a great scary moment to me because we get to see the brute powerful of her uncle, Mr. X. It's even scarier because the fact that he just doesn't show his full picture yet, just his busky ass arms as he like squishes his dude's head like a lemon. You know, I'm giving this shit at 85% on our fear meter. I love the build up to Mr. X, and it's just scary in my opinion. We finally meet up with Ada again, and she starts to, you know, let us see more of her. She lifts the mask a little bit. We get to find out her name, and I'm just happy for Leon, because, like, he's making friends.
Hey, you can't keep walking away from me. I don't even know your name. I'm Leon Kennedy.
Find a way out, Leon. Before it's too late. Then we'll talk. Name's Ada.
After we kill a bunch of zombie dogs and do a shit more puzzles, we head back to the main lobby and we reach the saddest death in Resident Evil history. Marvin is officially turned into a zombie, and what's even more sad about this is the fact that the devs allow us to kill this man, and I'm not up for that kind of decision making. So fuck this, I'm gonna run away. The main hall is the only save room in the game that actually has enemies in it. If you don't kill Marvin, he just wanders around this hall like for the rest of the game. And honestly, when Mr. X pops up, this can be an issue because like trying to dodge Mr. X while Marvin kind of nibbles at your ankles is low-key a recipe for disaster. And speaking of the devil, once we put out the fire that is consuming the helicopter, this shit happens.
Jesus Christ!
Alright, let's just break this down, alright? You're making progress, you're moving forward, you're finding keys. You put out this fire and you think everything's fine. And then Uncle Mr. X pops up with no cutscene, no warning. He pushes the helicopter like if he's lifting weights in the gym or moving furniture or some shit. And then he just walks towards you. And don't even try shooting him because he's not gonna flinch. This man just makes your soul leave your body. And he is some of the best scary monsters in video game history, or a tyrant if you want to call it that. I'm giving Mr. X a actual 100% on the fear meter. I have no margin for error. There's nothing I can complain about this. This literally hits on every single criteria of being scary in my opinion. Okay, now before we get into the next scare, I noticed that you haven't liked or subscribed yet, and I hate to do that thing that all YouTubers do, but it truly does help me a lot, and I'm a one-man army when making these videos. I write the scripts, I edit it all by myself, and it takes a lot of time and effort. So if you guys could just drop a like by letting me know if you like the video or not. It does mean the world to me. Also, comment your scariest moment in your opinion that you experienced when playing this game. I do read all my comments, and I would love to hear your guys' story. So make sure you guys subscribe so that way you guys are actually able to stay tuned with all the fear meters and anything that comes to the channel. Thank you. After the big bastard chases us all around the R.P.D station, we are able to get a key card from Ben's corpse. Leon eventually finds a tape recorder on Ben of Ben trying to get more information on the G-Virus. And it does beg the question of what's really going on. Once we head back to the parking lot, Uncle Mr. X almost ends Leon's life, but of course Ada ain't gonna let that slide because that's her thing. She loves saving Leon. Like seriously dude, Leon would be dead a million times over if it wasn't for this woman.
This is getting old. Saving your ass, that's twice.
I didn't realize you were keeping score.
Look, this isn't a game.
Leon and Ada decides to tag up, and it's kind of cool to hear the shared dialogue between the two characters. After the road gets cut off, Leon and Ada are forced to cut through a gun shop. After Leon and Ada enter that gun shop, they are held at gunpoint by a desperate, exhausted Robert Kendo. Another heartbreaking character that we get to meet, and honestly this man is also just as tragic as Marvin, if not even more tragic. After being held at gunpoint, the tension eventually breaks. Not with a fight, but with a heartbreaking reveal of Kendo's daughter, Emma, who is clearly in the late stages of infection. Kendo is refusing to let her go. He retreats into a back room and he whispers to her, "Everything is going to be okay." As Leon and Ada head to an exit, a single muffled shotgun blast echoes through the shop.
It's one thing to keep the truth from me, but why him? I want to find out what's happening here and stop whoever's behind it. Helping people like them? That's why I joined the force.
This is a masterclass in off-screen horror. The game doesn't need to use gore and monsters every single time to scare you. It uses a crushing silence of your own imagination, realizing what Kendo had to do. This is also a nice kind of moment for Leon because we get to see Leon's motivation for being a cop is to stop these kind of tragedies. It's cool to see him kind of develop slowly in this game. After the Kendo scene, this game wastes zero time reminding you that you're still in Raccoon City, a place where everything you want wants to eat you. We literally head down into the gut of the city, the sewers, and usually sewers in horror games are just a place for puzzles and bad smell. But in Resident Evil 2, they decide to go full on creature feature, like if this shit is a movie. As we meet Big Boy, this giant ass motherfucking alligator. This thing is straight out of a movie. I love it, you know what I'm saying? And I hate it at the same time. Because if this was a movie, I think I would like it. But I'm not really one for these giant animals. I don't find them scary. I'm giving this giant ass alligator a 70% on my fear meter. Why? Because it's a massive shit moment, but it's also a cliche, and it's basically a chase scene that could easily just turn into a death scene for Leon. I do feel like, I've said this many times, animals aren't the scariest things and the most creative things for me, especially when you just turn an animal big. You might as well just made regular sized alligator zombies. I don't find these scary. I'm sorry if you do. Let me know your opinions. Maybe I'm being too hard on animals and giant animals, but I think we best leave these in movies. Once we survive the world's angriest alligator, we finally catch up with the woman behind the curtain, Annette Birkin. And man, if you thought the monsters in this game were cold, wait till you meet the person who actually helped create them. We finally corner Annette Birkin, and man, the vibes in this room are kind of just scary and tense. This isn't a scary moment, but just, I wouldn't want to be here.
Oh yeah?
Hey!
Stop!
This is also a huge, massive turning point in the story. Ada questions Annette Birkin, but she refuses to answer any questions and makes a swift escape from the situation. It gets even worse when Annette pulls the trigger and Leon takes a bullet for Ada. Now the game hands the keys over to Ada while Leon is taking a nap. After getting shot, we realized we step into the stylish shoes of Ada Wong, and man, the gameplay completely flips. I'd say the peak of Ada Run is definitely the incinerator. Annette Birkin literally tried to turn Ada into some toast, giving us only 60 seconds to hack out of this part. And usually with traps, I do add them depending on the trap, and I think this is gonna be one that I do add. I'm giving this a 72% on the fear meter. And now, because listen, I know what you're thinking. Space, that's not even a monster. Space, like that, bro, like that's not a scary moment. Listen, the fear meter isn't only about monsters, it's also about scary ass traps too. Put yourself in these shoes. Wouldn't you be scared if you were in this? I'm adding this. I think traps definitely earn a lot of spots on the fear meter, and I like this one in my personal opinion. Also, if you've watched my Resident Evil 1 fear meter, I did put those traps on the fear meter, so it only makes sense to continue to include these. But also in the comments, if you're like, bro, like stop adding these, then I can also take that into consideration, and maybe we could just stop doing the traps. Now, Leon is still being a dumbass sleepyhead. We do have to talk about the most uncomfortable detour of the game. We're gonna shift over to Sherry Birkin real quick, and I know you guys are thinking, that's not in Leon's run. Okay, I have to add this segment from Claire's run. This is the only thing I'm going to be adding from Claire's run because it's the only thing that feels super exclusive to Claire's run. So when we do shift over to Sherry Birkin's gameplay, this literally becomes hide and seek. It's terrifying. We see the man hunting her, Chief Irons. This guy is a piece of shit and also a pure piece of work, but he's also a piece of shit. Like literally his office is filled with stuffed animals, and I don't mean like, you know, like teddy bears and shit. I mean like taxidermy tigers and deers like all over the fucking place. Like it's a lot of them too. It's not just a little, like it's creepy of how much taxidermy shit he has. Okay, so the more I think about this section, the more is like me justifying this score. 97% for a 12th scare on the fear meter. Listen, you're literally a helpless kid in a dark building being hunted by a man who treats humans like trophies. This is a master class in just psychological terror because it makes you feel small, like really small, like a kid, because you literally play as a kid. So Sherry isn't just hiding, she actually fights back. She kind of fights back in like the most kid way possible by like tossing like hot liquid acid into this dude's face. And it's kind of cool because you kind of see him scream, you see him stumble, you see him clutch his face.
Oh, you little shit! You hear? You are gonna be so fucking sorry!
Go away!
Just as Sherry gets cornered in the director's office by this piece of shit, before anything bad happens, the Birkin family values kick in. William Birkin, aka my dad, crashes the party, and this is where the gameplay sense of irony really shines, because Birkin doesn't just kill this man, he reaches out, implants Irons with a mutation, and Irons is alone, terrified, carrying a biological time bomb in his gut, which eventually ends the piece of shit. I like this way for him to die because he deserved nothing better. This is the most brutal way for him to possibly die. Okay, finally, Leon, are you awake yet? Okay, good. He does wake up, but it's in a daze, shoulders burning from Annette's bullet, only to realize that Ada is missing and he's in a deeper yuck and muck more than ever. And if you thought the alligators were the only things to worry about in these sewers, think again. We're about to enter the bottom waterway, and this place is filled with the literal birth canal of the G-Riders. It's dark, cramped, and filled with these things that definitely don't belong in the city's plumbing, and I'm talking about our first encounter with the G-Adults. I'm giving these guys a 89% on the fear meter, because to me this is like the definition of body horror. Imagine like becoming one of these bloated pile of meats with like eyes, where, you know, they shouldn't be, eyes like all over the place. This is not normal, and to me, just like imagine mutating into one of this, like it's just genuinely terrifying in its own right. Not too long after fighting these G-Adults, we do find Ada lying on some trash, like literally, like she's literally lying on trash. Leon then finds some scary ass footage, and then just when things seem normal, this shit happens.
Jesus Christ!
It's time for phase 2 of William Birkin. Now listen, I'm giving this a 90% on my fear meter, but the real scare of this fight is honestly the loss of control. You can't just blast your way out of this one. You're stuck on a tiny platform with this dude, and you kind of have to like dodge him and then eventually hit him with this giant like claw the size of a car, trying to like, you know, usually used for like shipping containers, but you have to use this to smack him into a void. Also, Birkin's design is getting more disgusting like every single second. Every time we see him, he is slowly becoming more monsterish, and I guess that's scary in itself. We finally get Ada out of the trash compactor, and these two have a quick back and forth because they are both trying to play hero in their own rights. Leon wants to stick around with Ada to make sure that she's okay, but Ada thinks Leon should just leave her and save himself.
So, what do we do now?
Get yourself out of here. While you still can.
I'm not just gonna leave you. Not like this.
You don't understand. The situation's worse than I thought.
You're not getting rid of me that easy. You protected me. Now it's my turn.
Didn't realize we were keeping score.
Eventually, the duo is forced to take a cable car down to the nest, where the virus is literally made, and both of the vibes here, like the vibes here on this cable car down is a little bit frisky, if you know what I mean. Like Leon and Ada start smooching it up, and I am so proud of my boy. This man is the Aura King, the Riz King, the Rizzler.
In this case, you're the last hope I've got.
I'm not just gonna leave you here. What if you're attacked? What if you need help?
I'll be fine. Don't worry about me.
We finally make our way to the nest, and walking to the nest is like taking a really cold shower after a like long ass day in the heat, because the R.P.D and the mansion felt terrifying with stalker enemies, nasty like the sewers with the tunnels full of grotesque monsters, but the lab is cold. It's all white, it's clean. It's a little bit too bright, and it's oddly enough too perfect in my opinion. Like, this is a clear contrast to the sections of the game earlier. There's something deeply unsettling about this blood splatter on a nice pristine white floor compared to the grimy sewers, you know what I mean? Like, there's something wrong about it. The deeper we go into the lab, the more you realize that Umbrella didn't just build a lab. Like, the more you think about it, this is more of a slaughterhouse than anything. Unspeakable actions happened here, and it's truly some of the best locations in this game. Speaking of locations, welcome to the greenhouse, or as I like to call it, a vegan nightmare. We are slapping a 85% on these leafy bastards because honestly, like, they earn every single point. I'm not one to be scared of like plant monsters, but this is the best of all type of plant monsters in any. Is it better than Plant 42 and Resident Evil 1? This is the best, I would say, Resident Evil plant monster. The IV zombies are the ultimate middle finger to the player. And like, for a plant zombie, this is some of the best designs. We aren't just talking about a zombie with a bit of like leaves on him or some shit. These guys are literally human fucking corpses that have been hollowed out and puppeted by a parasitic vine. But we move forward and eventually we stumble across this, you know those movies where it's like found footage? We basically find one of those, but it's actually real in the game. This is where we get our first glimpse of Hunk, aka Mr. Death, aka Mr. He Can't Die, aka this dude don't get paid enough for this shit. He's leading a squad of Umbrella tactical bros into this dark area, and it completely shifts gears. For a hot minute there, the game stops being a survival horror and turns into like a gritty like Black Ops snuff film. It kind of gives that vibe. Also in this footage, we get a gauge on how William Birkin was as a man, someone who was willing to die for his work. Birkin literally injected himself before his demise as a final act of desperation, and it's just honestly sad, dude. Like, you have a daughter and a wife out there, bro, and now look at you, ugly. We finally come face to face with the man, the myth, the legend, G-Phase 3, William Birkin. And in this fight, you get to see this mutation, and it's no longer like any human left. Like, that is just full-on monster. Birkin has some of the ugliest mutations. Like, dude literally just gets a dozen extra eyeballs on his like every single arm. Like, dude just loves eyeballs. Like, he would be a great Halloween decoration. I'm putting this at an 83% on my fear meter. This is definitely not my favorite Birkin fight by any means. And to be honest with you, the best thing about this is the design of Birkin in itself. Shooting those giant eyeballs does feel very satisfying, and then you definitely have to go for that hard. It's a very like high speed, high stress type fight, but it just feels too much, you know what I mean? Where the horror out of it's kind of out, and this starts to feel a little bit more action heavy. Not a bad fight, but you definitely get that shift in this one. You would think that beating William would be a satisfying victory, but it's actually not, because like what happens right after is just like a gut punch or a punch in the gut. We find Annette Birkin one last time, and she goes out exactly how she lived, cold, clinical, and warning us that we've basically opened Pandora's box.
You trust that bitch?
What's that supposed to mean?
She's not FBI. She's a mercenary. She's gonna sell it. The G-Virus is gonna go to the highest bidder.
That's bullshit.
I hope you're right. But if the G-Virus gets into the wrong hands...
And dude, it's like, yeah, okay, we couldn't celebrate because of Annette Birkin, but you know, it gets even worse, man. We get a knife in the back. Ada Wong meets us on a bridge, and just as this place is crashing, no, we don't get any good, no kisses anymore, no smooches. Nope, but we get a gun pointed at us, specifically at Leon's heart. Ada demands the G-Virus because that's kind of her fucking thing, and she is one of the most frustrating characters in Resident Evil, but we all love her. We all love this frustrating character, this woman. This is also the moment where Leon's rookie innocent finally dies. He's been through hell in this entire game, and this is kind of like the nail in the coffin. She was just using him this entire time as an escort service for the virus. You know what? I'm just tired of her. Honestly, she's just a bitch in a red dress. This is still some of the most painful betrayal in video game history. I think it actually takes the cake. When the bridge starts falling apart and Ada's dangling over the ledge, Leon still catches her. Even after she lies to this dude, he's still trying to be the hero. Watching Ada slip away while the lab screams self-destruct in the background, that's the moment Leon stops being a rookie and starts being the hardened survivor as we know him today. I think this is really when it shifts, like from obviously he's not Resident Evil 4 Leon, but you could definitely see that this man is like, okay, I'm in this shit. And I find it pretty dope that we get to see this shift in a single game.
No!
There's no jump scares in this moment, you know? It's just the sound of like a guy's heart hitting the ground. Poor Leon, I really do feel for him in this moment. And finally, this is the final sprint. The sirens are blaring, the walls are literally melting, and the game shifts from slow burn horror to full-blown action movie. This self-destruct sequence is pretty damn stressful, I'm not gonna lie. And it gets even worse as we're trying to sprint out of this. But of course, our fucking uncle is like asking for money all the time. This dude keeps popping up. So Uncle Mr. X is back, and he decided that like our chapter never ended. This man just wants to smoke at all times. And he's dropped from professional stalker to like full-on super tyrant. This dude has a massive fucking claw. This is honestly he's like the coolest looking tyrant in Resident Evil. I'm not gonna lie, this guy takes the cake. Massive giant claw, a heartbeat you can hear through the floorboards. And I'm just putting this entire encounter at an 82% on the fear meter. Most of the points honestly come from the actual environment, because we're like trapped on this, you know, shrinking elevator with this guy who can like literally kind of tear you like to ass cheese. Like he literally could tear you to shreds any moment, and you're just on a little platform with him. Terrifying. It's very intense. I do like the tension of this. It's just not that scary. This is a very panic heavy scene, but of course this is a Resident Evil game. A rocket launcher's gonna come and save us, you know, that's what they do, man. So the rocket launcher comes, drops from the heavens, and it's the most satisfying moment of the entire game as you pick up this thing and you finally, for the first time, you pull the trigger and Mr. X actually goes from a nightmare to a smudge on the wall, a stain. This boy is actually done here. Yes, Mr. X actually dies here, and it's very satisfying. Leon finally gets his welcome to the Force moment when he beats Mr. X, and it's kind of like, yeah, dude, you're gonna be that guy, and he does eventually become that guy. It does feel good. That's all they wrote, folks. This game just doesn't let up, man. They couldn't let us just have a nice ending, so you get this one as well if you beat the second run with Claire. As the train pulls out of the self-destructing lab, a massive wet thud hits the back of the carriage.
Said we would.
Who's this?
This is Sherry.
Okay. Jesus.
What was that?
I don't know. I'll go. Take care of Sherry.
And this is G5 King William Birkin, and he's no longer like any type of humanoid monster. At this point, Birkin has lost every single sense of being a biological human. There's nothing there that looks like a human. At this point, he's literally a mountain of teeth, tentacles, and eyes. It's very disgusting, actually. He's kind of wedged into the back of the carriage of the train. It is the easiest boss fight though, and I'm giving this a 75% on the fear meter. Mostly just for the ick factor. Like, it wasn't like it's scary in the sense that he was once a human. That's where all the fear comes from. But it's the easiest fight of the game. You're literally just dumping everything you got into this guy because that's what you have to do here. And when the train finally detaches and leaves him to blow up with the rest of the facility, it's the ultimate like finally moment. Leon, Claire, and Sherry finally step out into the sunlight, and the nightmare is actually over. Our rookie cop survived his first day. Resident Evil 2 Remake isn't just a horror game, it's a masterclass in atmospheric evolution. From the dark, rainy streets, to the sterile, white-filled lab, the game never lets you feel comfortable. It always is shifting its goal points, changing the rules, changing what you're seeing, the environments, the enemies. And this game is a constant reminder that in this world, the one thing that's actually more dangerous than the virus is the people who thought they could own it. Now, with that all being said, let's get to our lab, dial up these numbers, and see how actual scary Resident Evil 2 Remake really is. Across the journey, we broke down 17 major scary moments. We've seen everything from a 70% during our over-the-top alligator chase scene, all the way to a whopping 100% with our uncle Mr. X. When we average out all these percentages, Resident Evil 2 earned a 84% on the fear meter. That is a heavy-duty grade, proving that Raccoon City is still relentless and a top-tier nightmare from start to finish. First up, we have the King of Scream trophy, and that goes to Uncle Mr. X with a whopping 100% on the fear meter. There's actually nothing quite like this the first time you hear those heavy-ass boots stomping on the floorboards above you. You don't know what it is, but it's just terrifying. Next up, we have the Crybaby trophy with the worst scare. I'm giving this to the alligator chase scene with a 70%. Now, don't get me wrong, it's a cool spectacle, it's a fun idea, but it's definitely too scripted, and it literally feels like a Hollywood movie scene. I know I keep saying that, but that's the vibes I get. Last but not least, we have the Heart trophy for my personal favorite scare, and this has to go to the Sherry Birkin gameplay with a 97%. This was absolutely peak experience for me because this was definitely a total shift in gameplay and perspective, playing as a helpless kid in a dark orphanage, and the psychological terror of being, you know, kind of chased by Chief Irons, who we all know is a piece of shit, is just genuinely more horrifying the more you think about it, and it can make your skin crawl, especially when you're walking through all those taxidermy animals. That was Resident Evil 2 The Remake. I hope you guys enjoyed and appreciated that video. If you guys want to see how Leon's European trip stacks up against the Raccoon City nightmare, make sure you click on this video that you see on screen and give that one a watch. Also, stay tuned for the next fear meter, which is going to be Resident Evil 9. Yes, we are covering Resident Evil 9, and I cannot wait for it because this game is truly and probably going to top all records we have on the channel as of far. Thanks for hanging out, guys, on this fear meter. I'm out of here before the self-destruct sequence ends. Also, as I always say, Jesus loves you guys. Peace.